Hello everybody, welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. I know it's been a long time, and I would be making some videos here and there. However, I just have not had fun with Dead by Daylight in a few months. I've probably put a total of like 5 hours of DBD in the last few months. Except for this last couple of days, I've actually been having pretty good amount of fun. But instead of making a normal gameplay video like I would, I've seen a couple people make these videos where they just do a wish list of things that they want in 2025. I think his name was J-Dub. I saw the King do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And a lot of these are my personal opinion of things that are unreasonable. I mean, not unreasonable, but frankly, maybe a couple of these could happen, but all of them are definitely not going to happen. But there's some really cool ideas that I thought of and some other things that are really small, simple that actually should happen. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this is for my 2025 wish list for things in DBD, and this is what I would like to see. Even though I know a lot of it is unrealistic, I would love to see it. First thing, very strong personal opinion, but I think Dead by Daylight could benefit from people like me that hate certain maps. It could benefit to have a map voting system, just like Call of Duty. Here's how it would work. Okay, here's how it would work and how the map offerings would still actually end up working. So let's say nobody brings any map offerings. Nobody brings a sacrificial ward. Let's just say there's 0 offerings for the game. What it does is it gives you like 10 seconds. You don't want this to take forever, but once everyone has started loading into the game, everyone's readied up, it goes through the offering screen, and then before the loading screen, it brings you to a map vote screen, just like Call of Duty, where it says, Ormond, vote for this one on top, or Larry's, vote for this one on bottom, and then random. Okay, pretty simple. I mean, there's 5 people. Let's just say it gives you 10 seconds, or it gives you 5 seconds, or something like that. So no matter what, it will move on to load the game in that short period of time, so that people aren't just sitting there on that screen forever, and just make sure the game can still get played, but give people the opportunity to vote for a map. Let's say 2 people vote for Ormond and 2 people vote for Larry's, and 1 person votes for random. There's a tie, and then there's one that was like that. What would happen in that case is it should just be random. It should just be random because it tied and then there was random. Let's say only the survivors vote and the killer doesn't, and let's say all of them vote for random, then it should go to random. Pretty obvious. Basically, the higher number wins. But if someone doesn't pick, then, let's just say there's like, I don't know, just exactly how it works with like Call of Duty, do that. However, let's say only 1 person brings an offering, and let's say it's a Macmillan offering. Here's my idea. It would bring up let's say Coal Tower up top, and then the one below that would be Ironworks. Let's say the first one up top is Coal Tower, the second one on the bottom is Ironworks, and then the third is random. However, random will still be within the realm of the Macmillan estate realm. So that person that brought the Macmillan offering, they'll still get to choose between 2 and a random, but it's still going to be the Macmillan realm. So even if you bring an offering, it's still going to go to one of those maps in that realm, but you still have the choice. The reason I think this is a good idea for people like me is I really, really have a hard time enjoying the game when I load in and I get Larry's, or I get the game, or I get RPD, or I get the other RPD, or I get, whatever other maps that there are that I don't like playing. I understand you shouldn't just get rid of maps that people don't like. There's going to be parts of every single game ever that people don't like, but they're going to have to deal with it. But you can bring this option so that people can potentially avoid the part that they don't like, but you don't have to take it out of the game because some other people might like it. So I think that's fine. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. This next one is a practice mode. Now, they kind of already do have that. You can kill the bots, you can survive with bots, you can do a custom game, play as killer and play against bots, and even give them perks and items and offerings. You can do that. That's actually pretty awesome. However, if you want to do that same thing, but you want to be a survivor, for some reason you have to do survivor with bots, but you can't like do custom game, have a bot killer, and you are playing with 3 bot survivors, whatever. They could change that around, make that, actually work. So you can still do a custom game and then do 3 bot survivors, you're a survivor, and 1 bot killer. I don't know. They could do that. But what I'm talking about is, let's say you wanted to, load a certain tile on Macmillan. You just wanted to practice your L wall jungle gym, short wall, whatever you want to call it. Let's say you wanted to practice looping that. You can just do practice mode, like choose map, and then do like choose a section. It might give you like a bird's eye view, like, oh, choose a long wall, choose an L wall, choose shack, and you can like just loop that and practice just seeing how to run it. Have the killer chase you, whatever. Maybe like make it so you can't get downed because then you'd have to like restart or something. But you get those options. Give it like an actual like practice mode that's like specifically for one part of something that you want to practice, whether if it's like looping the 2-story on the Badham maps or whatever. Just some very specific part that you want to practice. Give that kind of practice mode. That's what I think would be cool. And then you can do it as killer. If you want to practice playing a killer and you want to just practice only shack, playing against a bot, and you want to play as huntress, practice whatever, it's cool. I think that would be nice. I feel like they're kind of near that. They could actually be working on something like that, but who knows. The next one is, this is super, super, super simple, and it's something that's super easy, quality of life fix, and it's just really nice. So when you go to the perks, there's a lot, and sometimes you may not be able to find one. You don't know what page it is usually. If you want to click search, you have to click search, type it in, maybe one word of it, maybe part of the word, or all the thing, whatever you want to type. Then you press search, then it'll show the perks that match that search criteria. I think what they should do is just click on it. It doesn't bring that separate window up. It just, shows it. I'll show you on the screen here, but it just shows the letters right here, and then you just type, and then you don't have to press search. It'll just pop up, kind of like Google, how when you're searching something, it'll show the list of things below it for what you're probably searching. It should just do that. So it saves you like the tiniest bit of time, but it would feel so much nicer. So much nicer, okay? Moving on to the next one. This one actually I think would be pretty nice, and I think the community would like it, is a trading system. Similar to like Rocket League, for example, when Rocket League had that. I mean, you could do like, there could be like forums, there could be like Reddit or like a Discord or something. People could be like, hey, who wants to trade with me? Whatever. Here's my name, go add me, and then you can trade. But basically, let's say you play a game and you see someone has a cool hair for Nia, and you're like, oh, I want that hair really bad. And that guy's like, you message after the game, and then you get into a lobby and you start typing, and you're like, hey man, I want that hair. I'll give you like these 2 dresses, and then I'll give you like these 2 dresses for that one hair. Like, if you want to give me that, I think you could trade. Just whatever people want to choose to trade. I think that would be cool. Don't make it like Fortnite, where scammer gets scammed. Don't do that. But that could be an option. Something little. You could do like charms as well. Like, hey man, I'll give you these 12 charms for that one charm. Whatever it is. And then, for example, like, well, I don't know. That's just more talking. You could think about it. But adding a trading system, that would be pretty cool. I also think potentially adding an auction house. For example, if someone has their legacy, I don't know why you would ever want to get rid of your legacy, but if someone wants to put their legacy for like 50 million blood points, and let's just say that blood points were never capped, and then someone could buy it for 50 million blood points. Or you could even trade eerie shards. Maybe it's like, hey man, I'll give you this hat and these 2 pants on this survivor for 10,000 eerie shards. Like, just whatever the players decide on. I think that would be a cool addition to add. Okay guys, I've been talking. This is gonna be a long video, but we're just gonna get through it. I don't know if you want to keep watching. The next one is okay. This one, honestly, not a good idea, but it's because I wrote it down because I'm salty when I go against killers that I don't like Skull Merchant, Knight, whatever. If you could play Survivor, obviously this doesn't matter as killer because all survivors are the same. But if you're playing Survivor and you're queuing, you could filter who you want to queue with. So if you only want to queue with, let's say, Trapper, Wraith, Billy, Bubba, Freddy, whatever. Let's say you could select those, and it's going to search as good as it can, as fast as it can, only for those killers that have queued. Yes, it would make queue times take way longer if people do filter it out that small or just to 4 killers or whatever, or if they filter everyone except 3 killers, like it wouldn't affect too much. But for example, if you have been playing the game and you've just been unlucky and you personally just hate going against like Skull Merchant or something because Skull Merchant sucks, then you can make it so that you can filter out Skull Merchants so that you don't have to play it. Again, this would make queue times take way longer, especially if a lot of people decide to not queue against Skull Merchant or Knight, and those people that are queuing as Skull Merchant or Knight would have a longer queue time. So again, I don't think this is actually a good idea to put in, but for me, because I hate going against certain killers and I don't want to stay in the game, even if they're like not that great, it's just not enjoyable for me. I think it would be an okay thing to add. But again, probably not that great to add. Moving back, this one's very simple. They should just add blood points back to certain perks that had them before, like We're Gonna Live Forever, Barbecue and Chili. I know that they gave some stupid reason where it was like, oh, we have these blood points incentives. We have like this going on. We lowered the grind. Well, you can lower it more by just keeping those perks the same. Just add those perks and maybe a couple other perks that gave you blood points. Just bring it back. They're just blood points. Like they're easy to get, but like if they're so easy to get, can we please just make it a little bit easier? It's just gonna be nicer and it'll lower the grind even more. So please just do that. The next thing, Bloodpoint events. I know I'm filming this during Christmas time, and there's actually like a 3 times blood points for like a couple weeks, basically. I think 11 days left at this point. But I think they should do like double blood point like weekends like pretty often, maybe like monthly or like even weekly. I know that they might be like, but that's too much. Well, they're just blood points, and it's just an extra 2. It's just 2 times. They're just blood points. They're not eerie shards. They're not auric cells. Come on, they're just blood points. So just give them more. We want to be able to upgrade and level our characters more quicker. Moving on. This is kind of similar to the trading, but it wouldn't be with other players. It would just be with you and the entity. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have 4,000 brown toolboxes on Meg, and you don't use them. Well, you bought them in the Bloodweb for like 12.50 or something. I can't remember. Well, let's say you want to sell every single one of them to the entity for 1,250 or however much you bought them for. That would be nice because if you're looking for some extra little blood points and you know you don't use a brown toolbox or you don't use a green key or whatever it is, just go ahead and click and either sell one to the entity for how much you bought them for, or when you click it, have a slider so you can do like half or like 10% or like 100%, or just sell all, quick sell to the entity, and then boom, you can just have some extra blood points. I think that's actually very simple, very nice, and if you don't like the clutter, that's cool. If you just want blood points, that's cool, or whatever. But I think that would be a nice little addition. A bunch of add-ons. If you don't use a certain add-on on Billy or whatever, then just sell it to the entity. Stuff like that. I think it would be pretty nice. This next thing would be, I think the community would like this quite a bit. I don't know how much it'd be used. It would take a lot of work from the devs. Like, I feel like this would be like a ginormous update. This would be like years of work for them, and they haven't even started yet. But doing a playground mode. And what I mean by that is you can go to the playground mode, and there's like a community tab where people can upload these certain things on there. Where, let's say, they choose a base for like a map. Like let's say they choose not Rotten Fields, but they choose Cold Wind, so the game looks like sunny and bright, and they can choose to add like a hill here. They can choose to add shack here. They can choose to add another shack here. They can choose to add a shack in all four corners, and then they do long walls in between all of them, and then they do four pallets right in the middle, and they can add generators here and stuff. And I think that would be okay. That was a stupid example, but I'm just saying, like, adding a custom like map editor and then just creating that and making that your own and putting it on the community like hub so that people can just play with their friends on these random maps that people made super overpowered for survivors or super overpowered for killers because they gave them two pallets for the entire map and one window and one main building. Like, I think that would be really fun. And I don't know. There's just a lot of things that you could do with that. They could even go as far as like making a perk creator. Again, that would take so much like thought and coding and everything, but it'd be kind of cool to bring old DS back or something like that, or bring old Dead Hard back. Again, so difficult. I know that they would not do this at least in a very long time, but I think that would be really fun. Sometimes you get online with all your friends and you're like, guys, the games aren't as fun. Let's just play with ourselves. Let's get another friend. We can do custom games, one killer, four survivors, and then it's like, oh, let's go to the community hub. Let's see what random map there is. Oh, cool, someone built this super tall 7-story building. It's all indoors or something like that. I don't know. And then everyone brings balanced, and then the killer's like, all right, guys, new map. This isn't fun. I don't know, but I think that would be really cool. I remember, I don't know. Tell me again. Okay, guys, we're about halfway through. Actually, we're a little more than halfway through. Thanks for sticking on with me. Sticking in, staying out. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Thanks for sticking through this video. If you made it to this point, go ahead and drop a comment of your favorite thing that you've heard, or something you disagree with, or something you think could be changed a little, or just something that I haven't mentioned yet that you think should be on the list. Anyways, moving to the next thing. This is something that people have wanted. You can do this kind of on your own. There's something called Nightlight that people use to track their stats, but stat tracker. I think that'd be cool. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to get like a full time stat tracker, but they could start this at some random month, and then you could see your stats for a month. Like, that'd be cool. They could start it next year. You could see your yearly stats. You could see, oh, I repaired 895 generators over the past 8 months or something, or oh, I got 2,400 hooks in like 8 months. Whatever it is. Like, it wouldn't be your all-time stats, but they could do a stat tracker and release it, and then you could still see it for that time, and that would be cool, and it would be accurate and all that. So that would be cool. Something pretty simple, but I don't think they'll ever do it. This is kind of just so console players can feel what PC players have had for a long time, being able to customize your perks or icons. That'd be pretty cool. They could make it something simple like if you want all of them to just be yellow even at tier 3, or if you want all of them to be green even at tier 3, or all of them to be like pink or black or white or whatever. I think it'd be kind of cool. Again, that doesn't seem too difficult, but I think it'd be a nice little addition for a little bit more customization. The next thing is a leaderboard. Now it's just something to add that like some people might be interested in. And I'm thinking of Rocket League. Rocket League, you can look at a leaderboard in the world and see people's MMR and see who the highest person is in the entire world that has the highest MMR in 2v2. They could do this and see like, oh, this person has the highest MMR in this specific killer, or oh, this survivor has the highest MMR. Again, it's something that's like that they could definitely add, because there is an internal MMR system and number that it like pairs with people. So the game has a number. We don't know. We can't see it. We don't know where to look for it, but they could add that, and it'd be interesting. It'd be like, yo, I thought Oddstarver was good. He's only 144th and best in the world or something like that. I don't know, but that would be kind of cool. The next thing is honestly pretty simple, but it's for people like me that tend to save up their blood points, let's say to 1,000,000, and then they start spending them and leveling up a killer or survivor. I think what they could do is they could just add a button that says like use all of my blood points on this survivor and just level up, and then it could be like very quick, like instant. I'm not saying like do it once and it still has to go through each level. Like just have it be like instant, and then it'll still give you everything, like all the items, all the like perks, add-ons, whatever it is you're getting, offerings. But it would be so much quicker. So let's say you had 900,000 blood points. It gets you from level 1 to level 49. Let's say it takes the game 10 seconds to do that rather than your like 6 minutes or something. So I think that would be a nice little addition. And then, you know, even if you only have 200,000 blood points, you could press like use all 200,000 blood points, or use as much as I can, get as much as I can, and it would be quicker to level up. So that's something simple I think they could add. This is just something, it's not like super specific, but it's just kind of like how I kind of feel about perks right now. They should just bring back like really strong perks for both sides. I feel like, especially survivors, I don't know about killers too much, but survivors, it feels like there's a lot of perks that are like, they're balanced, they're in good states, and they're all kind of similar in their own way. But killer, it's also kind of similar. But I think they should just add like a few perks and just create them and just make them very, very strong for both sides so that you can have that with you. And it's not like, oh, everything's balanced, everything's perfect. It's like, nah, man, if I want to get up the ground in 5 seconds after I do something, that'd be cool. And then the killer could just down me immediately after getting a 500% speed boost for doing something else. Like, those are stupid examples, but I think just adding like a few perks that are just very, very strong into the mix of all of these very balanced and similar in their own way perks. I don't know. I don't know if you guys know what I'm trying to say, but just adding a few perks for both sides that are just very strong. So then it kind of brings more fun and like, oh, do I do this or do we do that to avoid this perk, whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it's not, but whatever. This next thing is, I think, what they should have done when they started doing the extra game modes. So, for example, when they released 2v8 again, instead of doing it for like 1 week or 2 weeks or a week and a half or however long, if they release it for 1 week, they shouldn't do what they have done, where you just have only the one game mode for the next like 2 months, and then they come out with another game mode for the 1 week, and then back to the single game mode for 2 months. They should just have regular game mode, and then 2v8 comes out, and then just leave it like that. As long as queues are fine for both sides, for both game modes, for both killer and survivor on both game modes, as long as queues are fine, then I think they could just leave the second mode in until they decide to switch to the other second mode. You know, if they want to do Chaos Shuffle next, don't do 2v8 for a week, and then 2 months, and then you get a second game mode Chaos Shuffle, and then you have that for a week, and then 2 months later you have finally another. Just leave that. Even if you want to keep switching, just leave that. I'm not saying have normal game, then add 2v8, then add Chaos Shuffle, then add Lights Out, doing all of those, having 4 different game modes for people to play. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying have the regular game mode always, but have whatever second mode, even if you want to switch it, just always have 2 modes, is basically what I'm saying, as long as queues would allow that. Alright guys, last one. This is probably, I mean, it kind of is happening because there's 2 game modes quite a bit now, or there's like 2 queues, I guess. But they could add a ranked and a casual playlist. You know, if people just want to get on and just play and queue with whoever, the closest, the quickest, boom, they can play casual. But if they want to play as close as possible to their MMR, killer and survivor, they can queue ranked. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but they could. Okay, everybody, that is the end of the video. I appreciate you all sticking around. If I said something you didn't like, tell me why. If I said something you did like, tell me why. If I said something, or if I didn't say anything that you want to see in Dead by Daylight in 2025, go ahead and put it in the comments. But that is it for the video, and I will see you all in another DBD video, hopefully sometime soon.